Mr. Jeffrey.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Simon. And morning, everybody. I really don't like to talk to young people. And that is because young people don't like to be talked to. If I were here to do a dance or to sing to you, you probably would have appreciated that better. And the reason you don't like to be talked to is because everybody talks to you. Mommy talks to you, daddy talks to you, your teacher talks to you, your pastor, your imam. Everybody thinks that they have to talk to you because you need talking to. And so when children hear somebody got talk to them, it sounds like a sentence. So let me give you a little background as to why I think I should talk to you even though I don't want to talk to you. I was born in Lodge, in poverty, and then grew up on Lane Avenue, that's right across from All Boys Town. And I was very troubled. I was a very troubled young man. Troubled in the sense that growing up there in the so-called ghettos, to a single parent, my mom and my dad, there were 6 of us, and then my mom left my dad with 6 children. My dad left my mom with 6 children and went to marry a woman with 7 and had 2 more with her. And then, so there were 9 across 6, 7 and 2, 9, and then the 6 of us. And then he had an equal amount of children that were not between my stepmom or my mom. And so I grew up in poverty. And as a result of that, well, I shouldn't say as a result of that, but I got involved in criminality and I got locked up and went to prison and all kinds of things. And I was facing 25 years to life. I was a drug dealer. But then as I was in prison, some of the things my mother taught me and some of the things I learned in church and stuff came back to me, and I decided that I will make the necessary corrections. And so I went on and I finished my theological studies at Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama, and then I went on to do my master's at Barron Springs, Michigan at Andrews University. And I'm saying that in context because a lot of you are kind of where I am, which is you really want to just get out from under your parental control so that you could be the man or the woman that you want to be. To you, restrictions are for losers. You don't have to be told what to do. You come into Queen's College, you really think your mother could tell you what to do and you pass to Queen's College? They really think that they know. They really think they know, but they don't really know. And you're just waiting for an opportunity to show them how life should be done. That's all. Yeah, I didn't want to answer because they hate. If you were to group your friends in 2 columns, and you can do it in your mind, you're bright, you're sharp, you can do it now, but you can do it formally at another time. Group your friends into 2 columns. So you draw a line across the page, draw a line down the center, and you're grouping your friends, group A, group B. Group all the successful friends you have on one side, and then the loser friends you have on the other. And I don't know you, I don't know any one of you really close. I have a few of you here who I might know from church and so on. So I don't really know you. But if you do that, I'm going to tell you right now what will be the characteristical traits of the 2 groups. Your successful group, or let me begin with your loser group. Your loser group will be those who are rude and indifferent and give trouble to the teachers and their parents. Your loser group will include those who like to drink and smoke You lose a group. You lose a group will include those who are sexually promiscuous. Your loser group will include those kind of people. And the group with winners will have certain positive traits. They will be the ones who are studious. They will be the ones who follow the rules at school and at home. Those will be the ones who are delaying their sexuality and not looking for every man and every woman to hit up with. And what is true by preponderance, and I see we have a learned legal mind, and so preponderance is one of those legal terms, I'm going to borrow it. But what will be true by preponderance, by a majority, is that your loser group of people grow up to be loser adults, mostly. And your winner group of friends grow up to be winning adults. And so as you are setting your life's agenda, you would want to make sure that you avoid some of those negative behaviors. You want to make sure that you avoid a majority, if not all, of those negative behaviors. Because Guyana needs you. And for those of you who might be leaving Guyana, the world needs you. The world is a better place when we have a majority of positive people, when we have a majority of people who abide by the laws and the rules and the norms and the mores of society. But not only should you do good because the world needs you, but you should try to be the best you can because it also benefits you. You know, I stand before you and I give you a little of my history, but it's only by a divine miracle that I stand before you. In the drug world, especially when you're amateur like I was, I should have long been dead. And I'm saying that to you to say that you might take a chance. You might take a chance to smoke weed, or you might take a chance to use cocaine, or you might take a little joke, and you mightn't get pregnant, or you mightn't get you pregnant, but that is just by mere coincidence. So you're really just taking a chance, and you're like, oh my God, what have I done? Ah! You don't want to go through life taking chances. You want to be in total control of your future. You want to be in total control of your destiny. And persons who are just going through life taking a chance, hoping that if you begin drinking now, you're not going to become an alcoholic, or hoping that if you begin smoking now, you're not going to become an addict, or hoping that if you become having sex now, you're not going to become promiscuous. You are just hoping. You are taking a chance. You are winging it. And let me say this to you, and your parents might not want me to say this, but please, it's you and I talking. We good? It's just you and I. The reason some of your parents and your pastors and your imam and your grandmother and grandfather talk to you is because they have made some of those mistakes. And so they are trying to see if they can get you to order your lives different to theirs. And sometimes it's really not fair, in the sense that some of them did not achieve, and they are using you to achieve what they did not achieve. And so they turn on the pressure on you sometimes because they're hoping that the money they didn't make in life, you would make for them. However, while the motive for them asking you to be straight and do the right thing might be born out of selfishness, it still behoves you to understand that it is to your benefit that you listen to their advice. When I talk and I go around the country and I teach parents how to parent, well, I think I'm doing that at least. That is what they asked me to do. They asked me to teach parents how to parent, and I work with schools and I work with youth groups, and I parent parent-teacher associations, and I work with teachers, and I train them how to be parents and how to be better teachers. But I do it for a very selfish reason. I'm a very selfish guy. The reason I want Guyanese children to be better is because we as older folks, I'm 51 years old, we as older folks, by a great percentage, we have really not done right by Guyana. Guyana is not where it should be, given our natural resources, given the desires that we have for work. Guyanese do very well when we're outside of Guyana. We get big positions, we work hard, we get a lot of money. And so Guyanese are hard-working people. Guyanese are intelligent people. Guyanese are resourceful people. So why is Guyana the worst comparative country in this hemisphere, the second worst country in the Caribbean? It is because we, as older Guyanese, have not really done right by Guyana. And so when I go around the country and I'm teaching parents how to better parent their children, my intentions are very selfish. In my head, I'm thinking, if the children can become better than we were, more educated, more disciplined, more self-aware, more restrained, then they can do for Guyana what we did not do for Guyana. And so the reason I accepted the invitation to come talk to you children today is because I'm hoping that you would understand that you have a lot riding on you becoming the best that you can be. You have a lot riding on you becoming as bright and as orderly and as skillful as you can be. You have this whole country. We, as the older generation, are bequeathing to you a broken Guyana. And we are hoping that you can step up to the plate and you could do several times, you could advantage us, outdo us several times over. And you can't do it if you behave like us, because we have failed you. You have to better us. And so yes, we got a lot of you out of wedlock. We didn't listen. And so enough of us, like me, well, I was the last child of it's a long story. But a lot of us were born out of wedlock. A lot of us were born and we were not calculated for. I was one of the children who was not calculated for. I was a mistake. And a lot of us are mistakes. Well, that's what my mother tell me at least. She said it was a mistake. No, y'all laugh. My mother tell me that. So a lot of us are mistakes. We should not have happened. And if not you, your brother after you or your sister, they didn't really calculate for you. And so you cannot do life like us. You have to be more deliberate. You have to be more intelligent. You have to be more focused. You have to be more patriotic. And so as I conclude my discussion today, it is an honor to speak to you, students of Queen's College. You don't get much better than Queen's College. And so you have a unique responsibility. The students, and I go around to other schools, the students from the other schools, for the most part, would have liked to have come here. And so, to whom much is given, much is required or expected. And so as you transition from one grade to another, and as you begin almost the end of your secondary matriculation, I'm asking you to consider either not getting involved in or ceasing your negative behaviors. Some of you might say in your mind, well, Pastor Jeffrey, I just drink and I just smoke and I just have sex and some of them things you talk about, I'm already doing. Well, you can stop. And the reason you want to stop is because when you do the successful loser columns that I'm asking you to do, you don't want to end up in the loser column. The reason you want to stop is because you want to say, from today, I must be the best that I can be. And the only way I can be the best that I can be is if I engage in the best activities now. It's always the right time to do the right thing. And so my prayer, my hope, is that you would make those necessary adjustments in your life, that you would understand that while your parents might be talking to you and talking down to you or verbally or otherwise abusing you, it is not always out of a place of their desire to do that. It is sometimes they don't always know how to do it. And so you are intelligent enough to understand that sometimes they are not always doing it for the right reasons. The discipline and the punishment are not always coming from the right place. But they have their desire for your betterment in their hearts. So as you go through, from today forward, like a needle to the pole, make the necessary adjustments in your life, and you will benefit not only the world, not only Guyana, your country, but more particularly, you would benefit yourselves. And I want to thank you. I'm looking, Miss Simon stepped out. Oh, you hear Miss Simon? Miss Simon, that is the end of my discourse. I want to thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Wendell Jeffrey, and my numbers, I'll give you my number, because some of you might want to call me, and you might want to say, Pastor Jeffrey, that miserable parent you talk about is my parent, and she's driving me crazy, and I'm about to quit school, and I don't know what to do, so can you please talk to them for me? This is my number, 647-9007. So it's easy to remember, 647-9007, Wendell Jeffrey. And if you want to call me to talk about anything, some of you parents, your children acting funny, but I'm really talking to you all today. But as you hear, if you want to call me so we can do some counseling and so on, I'll appreciate that. Thank you very much. God bless you, and thanks for the opportunity.
So you take the questions as there is? Okay.
All right. I'm being asked to entertain a couple of questions, if there are any. You heard something or you didn't hear something that you want me to address? Okay. Yes, miss. I want to hear you. The fan is... Thank you.
In keeping with the topic area, delay in relationships, I would be grateful if some advice or some amount of information can be offered as to what students can do to delay those relationships, because it's a very critical issue going into the 5th year. What can you offer to them to tell them, or to advise them, or to guide them as to what they should or should not do, especially with exams approaching and the impact that it can have on those examinations, the results and the investment that all these parents would have, put into them. Thank you.
You're welcome. When we as adults, when we talk of relationships, we are really talking about severe emotional commitments. When we talk about relationships, that's what we're talking about. Severe emotional commitments. That is where you're so in love with a girl you can't eat. You're so in love with a girl you can't study. The guy got your hair so badly that as the phone ring, you're running out the bathroom, your skin wet, you got to get the phone. And so that is severe emotional commitment. I want to take it a step further. When we talk about relationships, we also talk about sexual relationships. So aside from just the mere severe emotional commitment that you are having, we as parents and we as leaders, we as your teachers and your pastors and imams and so on, we are concerned about your sexual relationships. Because, again, there is a direct correlation to youthful, severe emotional relationships, to youthful sexual relationships. There's a direct correlation between those two and failure. So if you're severely emotionally involved, or if you're sexually involved, you are likely to be in the column of the students who are failures. And again, you might be saying to me, well, that's not true. I having sex and I doing good. Except you're having sex without being severely emotionally involved, which then begs another question. It means that you're kind of a, how do you say it in English? Prostitute? Or you are a gigolo. If you're having a sexual relationship and you're not severely emotionally involved, something is wrong with you. It means you don't have boundaries. You're having sex with anybody and you don't like them, you're just doing it. It means that you don't have boundaries. Okay? So, how do you delay that? Now that you have heard what I'm telling you, when the guy comes to you and says, baby girl, let me do one for exam, to relax your nerves, you will be able to say to him, you don't love me because you're trying to get me in the failure column of life. When the girl comes to you and says to you, look, baby, I need it. I hear that you'll do it with other girls. You could do it with me. You'll be able to tell her that's not true, number one. And number two, you are trying to put me in the failure column. Two things. There are many things, but there are two things that determine your self-control. Two things that psychologists and sociologists can use to determine your self-control. It is your diet, how you could restrain your diet. Some of you got we eat everything, anytime, 2 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, ice cream, chicken. You understand? So you can tell a person's ability to control their impulses by their diet, how you practice your diet. That's one. The other one is your sexuality. Your strength can be determined, your inner strength can be determined by how you behave sexually or emotionally, sexually, emotionally, right? So what you have to determine, and that is what the teachers are asking me to tell you, what you have to determine is what you want to do with your life in regards to your sexuality. And I'm not talking about sexuality by way of gender identity. I'm talking about sexuality by way of in relationships. You have to determine what you want to do with your life. Because, watch this, and when I don't talk to you, pull your mother aside or your father and ask them if what he's telling them is, what he's telling you isn't true. The guy and the girl you're having sex with now, 90% of the chances are that you will not be married to him or her. So you're just taking a joke. You're not going to grow up to marry the guy or the girl that you are severely emotionally involved with or that you are sexually involved with. You will not. So you're really just wasting your emotions and wasting your sexual organs on these relationships. You're wasting time. And you're wasting time at the expense of things that are tangible. Your education is tangible. Your academic attainments are tangible. So you are foregoing tangible academic attainments for fleeting relationships. And I'm not saying that you might not grow up to marry the person. I'm saying that it is not likely that you will. So do not invest your emotions, do not invest your sexuality on what is potentially a fleeting relationship or fleeting relationships for things that are actually tangible. Meaning, if you get better grades, if you understand the subject matter better, you are more likely to progress in life in tangible ways than wasting your emotion and time on things that are fleeting. So restructure your life, reassess your priorities, hold back, show restraint, and move on to be a balanced individual with success in what are tangible things. And tangible again are things, your academics, your skills, those are things that you will need, that you will depend on in life to move you to another level. So that was a long answer to a short question. Any other questions? All right. Again, I want to thank you so much, and may God bless you. And I hope that you are inclined to believe, as Mrs. Cumming, I hope that you are inclined to believe in a higher power. I'm a pastor. I don't like really to preach. One of the things that has saved me is my understanding or my belief that there is a God who loves me. There is a God to whom I am accountable. And so when the light bulb went off in my head, I came back to ordering my life based on the dictates of the God I know. And for some of you, He is Allah, Krishna, Jesus, whoever He is. All of them would want you to live a decent, successful life. And so if you subscribe, Hinduism, Muslim, Christian, Baha'i, Rastafarianism, whatever, if you subscribe to any of those, all of those deities, those sages, they're asking you to do what I have spent the last 20 minutes telling you to do. Or they're asking you to not to do what I have spent the time telling you not to do. May God bless you. Thank you for your time.